Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. The newest selection pack has given us the last of the Justice Hunter decks, with K9 finally coming to Master Duel, and I'm going to show you what decks will be played with K9 and how it functions. Okay, we're going to real quick go over the K9 cards, and I'm just going to show you real quick what the K9s do. Starting off with the Izuna. Izuna is the heart and soul of this. If your opponent activates a hand or grave effect of a monster, you get to then special summon this and then dump a guy. The guy that you will dump is Lupus. Lupus then will be able to bring itself back and quick Xyz into whatever rank 5 you want to go into. This is the heart and soul of this deck and the way that it functions. Basically, you are utilizing the Izuna as a way to kind of force the opponent into awkward plays, or as a way to punish them for interacting with you. There's a bunch of different things that Izuna does, but for the most part, you are going to go into Ripper off of this effect, because Ripper is an additional hand trap negation or graveyard negation for that. But on top of that is also a great starter, because it allows you to search out, or I should say extender, it allows you to search out another K9 card. These are very powerful in their effects, so that's generally what you want to do. Case for K9 is a search. It also has a graveyard effect that sets a quick play. Fantastic card. We have Noir and Jokel, which basically just get additional guys onto the field. Jokel reveals from hand to special summon, and then Noir specials from deck on normal summon, and it's fairly easy to normal summon these guys. And then Lantern can reborn from grave, as well as search a spell trap, but the reason you're only playing one of this, generally speaking, is because for the most part, the way that you're getting to this card is off of something like a Case for K9 through Ripper. So for the most part, you're searching this anyway, so getting that additional guy is not as useful. And because it specials a guy from grave, it's not as easy to summon as something like Jokel or Izuna or even Noir. So that's generally speaking why we're only playing one. As for the quick play, this is basically a rank up magic spell. You just quick play, activate it, rank up a guy, and then pop a card as well at point of resolution, which is great. You just pop one of your opponent's cards. However, even with that being said, there are two targets for this. Notably, this requires you to use Ripper in particular. I guess you could use Jax as well, or Hound. But these cards are a lot less likely to be on your board. But you're going into either Werewolf or Ripper. Sorry, Ripper M. Which both of these are fairly decent cards. Werewolf has the ability to... if the opponent does something, you get to either on your turn banish a card from their field and grave, or you can look at the opponent's hand during their turn and banish a card until the end phase, kind of cutting them off of an extension piece or something of that nature, right? That being said, Ripper is also an option. It negates and then nukes the field. So there's that. And on summon, if it's summoned off of a spell trap effect, has the ability to shuffle 2 cards back from the grave and or banishment of the opponent into the deck. So it's decent. But I would imagine Werewolf is more likely to be played just due to the fact that being able to rip a card out of the opponent's hand is very advantageous. That being said, you also play it with the Vanquish Soul stuff, and there's some new Vanquish Soul cards. I real quick just want to talk about Holly Sue, which on or in hand can reveal another Vanquish Soul to special summon itself, and then from there also has the ability to reveal either an Earth and a Dark to take control, or a Fire and a Dark to special summon. Both are very, very powerful effects. And then Start is the new extender for the archetype. And that's pretty much it for the K9 stuff. And let's just... Oh, sorry. Last thing. There's a bunch of other rank 5s that you can go into. Things like Valon, Nash Knight, Silent Underdark, etc. We'll be talking about a few more of those with some of the other decks. But I just want to quickly show you what K9 does. Alright, so this is generally what the deck will do, and there's a bunch of different ways to get to this. Noir, my opponent has 2 or more cards in their hand. Here's Noir. We activate the effect. We get to special summon out here. We're going to go for the Izuna. Izuna effect on summon is going to dump the Lupus. And then from here, we can actually just immediately go into Ripper. Bada bing, bada boom. Out comes Ripper. Oh, did I forget an effect? Hold on. Yeah. Oh, right. This is the one that sends a K9 card. The reason you would do this is if you go through Case for K9. We didn't do that, so I wasn't forgetting anything. Okay. Cool. We're going to go Ripper here, and we're going to grab Case for K9. Awesome. Now, we do already have Lantern in our hand. Here, we would normally search Lantern, but it's fine. We are just going to instead add the Jokel here, and instead of actually using the Jokel here, I'm actually just going to go into this guy. We're going to special summon out the Noir, and then we can activate the Jokel, or this one, the Lantern, in order to grab a second Case for K9, and then we're also going to send in order to look at the opponent's hand. Look at that hand. Great, fantastic, awesome. Okay, well, we're done. Oh, this doesn't trigger because it has to be destroyed. My bad. It's fine. Realistically, I would search I could search the quick play, right? Now, from here, there's a bunch of different things that I could do, right? For example, had I instead searched out, had I had that extra 5, there's a bunch of different things that I could have gone for instead. And obviously I have the Raisin, so I would probably have started with that. But overall, then I can go into another rank 5 from this position and go from there. Also, had I, instead of going for Ripper, decided to go for the... decide to go Lantern from that position, because I'd already sent the Lupus, I could then go Lantern, bring back, and then go format Saryuya, and go from there. It's not exactly a flashy archetype in that it does like a ton, right? It's not Yummy, where it has a million different things that it can do, nor is it Draco Tail that sets a million cards. What it is it's a very simple strategy that is effective, right? As you can see, I ended up with 2 additional cards in my hand that I can then use on the opponent's turn as well, right? To do even more stuff, right? And that was off of course, one singular card. But on top of that, it's something that you can utilize during the opponent's turn to kind of get additional pieces of material and put presence onto the board, right? Which is the notable thing. Okay, and I have 2 more decks that I want to show you real quick. The other one being Crystron K9, which is also fairly decent and is likely to see a large percentage of play as well, just due to the fact that this is an easier way to get to rank 5s. And because of the fact that the Crystrons allow you access into things like Infinity, it gives an additional counter trap, or not counter trap, Omni Negate to the archetype, while still playing more non-engine. As you can see, there's a lot more non-engine here. I don't think this is necessarily the better deck, but it is another deck that you get to play in tandem with the K9 cards. Standard, like 13 card, 14 card, K9 package, depending on whether or not you want to play Force Release. And then the Crystron cards are pretty simple. You're playing Sulfador, you're playing Sulfaneer. These are very advantageous due to the fact that they get you into rank 5s, which is very nice, and they are 5s themselves for that purpose, right? But then they also do the whole Crystron combo as well. We're only playing 1 Tristaros and 1 Smiger as ways to search out Cluster and go into some Synchros. But for the most part, we're not playing a ton of Synchros. You can play something like Quarion Drax and play more of a dedicated Crystron package if you really wanted to, but for the most part, that's not the purpose of the K9 Crystron deck, right? The K9 stuff more specifically allows you to go, or sorry, the Crystron stuff more specifically allows you to go into the rank 5s more effectively, notably Nova into Infinity. But then on top of that, the K9 stuff can also pivot into the Crystron stuff thanks to River Stormer. River Stormer says, you can detach a material to take an Earth Machine and either add it to the hand or send it to the grave, which notably would get you Scrap Recycler. Scrap Recycler would then be normaled or specialed or however, which then sends the Smiger and does the whole combo. So that's generally the idea behind that. Also, notable card in here as well is Durandal. The reason for Durandal here is because of the Case for K9. Case for K9 is, if it's destroyed in the spell and trap card zone, it sets that spell trap, which is very nice. So you'll see Durandal as a way to kind of force the opponent to destroy your Case for K9, right? This does mean that you can't have other back row for that to work. Or you have to have used up the other back row. So you can see we're not playing a whole ton of back row. We have Droplet and some of the other cards, but for the most part, that's generally why that's there. And then it's just other rank 5s and stuff like that, right? Zeus, Typhon, etc. This is another deck that I think is fairly interesting as well. And let's hop into the last one. Yeah, it's Mitsu. We all expected Mitsu, right? I mean, it's Mitsurugi. What else would it possibly be? The thing is, these are the 2 strongest like engines currently in the game. K9 is just so generic and allows you to get that additional hand trap interaction style effects, right? And then Mitsurugi is one of the best end boards off of individual cards and interacts favorably with pretty much everything. So of course we are seeing these two together. There's no real specific synergies. As you can see, I didn't even fill out the extra here because generally speaking, it's just Mitsu and K9. However, the other thing of note is that K9 can be played in a wide array of different decks. I've seen it with K9, I've seen it with Archmage, I've seen it pure. There's a bunch of different things that you can do with K9. So again, similar to Mitsu, you get a whole bunch of different opportunities with this deck, and overall, look out for it. That's all. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it. If you did, a like is very much appreciated. And remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye.